I think by now you should wonder about banks. Whose banks are they? Are they your banks? Are they providing you with a necessary service? Are they giving you a fair deal? Of course they're not. They're basically an entity, a system upon themselves that has found a ready and able sucker in the US taxpayer, but also in the European consumer. You know, if you read this type of quotes, it's like the big three windfall, bonuses could be up 60% at top banks, says a pay expert. Banks don't give a damn. No, they don't give a damn. Basically, my theory is that banks learned last year what was going to happen. They bought themselves all a nice stock of gold and silver. They stashed it away, and now they're looting the shop as much as possible because they know the ship is going down. It's not gonna work. It's just pillaging and trying to get as much money out of it as possible, and before the whole thing crashes, and then they're gone. You will not find them anywhere. You know, they might have plastic surgeons lined up for treatment. You know, that's something that Tim Geithner should do. But anyway, the question is, whose banks are they? You know, who are they serving? Which society are they contributing to? Why would you give your money to them in order to to be able to function better in your economy? Because you're not functioning better with your economy. And banks used to be there to make the economy run smoother by allowing easy transfer of wealth and etc. etc. Now they're just sucking the lifeblood out of it. You know, you read this quote, it's bank lending down despite massive bailouts and increasing regulation. So Mr. Bernanke and Mr. Geithner have achieved nothing. And it's very easy for them to pretend that they're failing. But they're not failing. They're succeeding. Because they are one thing with the banking system. Mr. Bernanke is the head of the Fed, which is banking owned. It's basically the strong man of the banking system that's always there to kick ass if things go wrong and pretend that there's huge amounts of wealth. But basically any money that's printed out of thin air is like robbing you, because you're gonna work hard for that money and they just printed it. So how fair is that? How much fairness is there in a bank that is the first receiver of that money, that then can lend it out to you as a desperate entrepreneur and see you struggle while they do that, because they don't have to do a thing for it. So whose banks are they? You know, who are they benefiting? Who are they helping? Are they helping you? I don't think so. You get this guy from JP Morgan. New credit card law will cost banks at least 500 million a year. That's good. That means that the law has achieved something. But this guy's looking sad, because it's a bad thing that the banks don't make that much money. It's a damn good thing that they don't make much money. They should make no money at all, because they're there for you. They're not there for themselves. They're there to provide you a service at cost, basically, and not make money. That's ridiculous. So whose banks are they? There's like, if you take the army of shareholders of all the banks and you just deport them to Tasmania or some other godforsaken place, you're rid of that whole force. You know, if you just ban share owners in banks, then you're rid of the negative impact of those shareholders, because that's the only one that's being served by the CEO of the banks, and of course lots of those shareholders are other banks. And you get to read this one. It's called Bank Plans. You know, at the same time that this guy is moaning about the fact that he's losing 500 million a year, which is basically a good thing, because it is about unfair raising of rates that this money goes into, and I calculated it once that it runs into the billions of dollars that banks earn because they have, let's say, owners of credit cards in debt, and they can raise the rates by a few percent. That immediately translates into billions of dollars. Here the banks say that they plan to raise credit cards and annual fees. It's just an announcement, but you shouldn't accept it. Because whose banks are they? And what are they doing for you? Because you can also read that by 2018, 67% of the US could be dependent on the government for their livelihood. So how dysfunctional can a government be if this is the case? Because where's the government gonna get anything to support the livelihood of 67 of the US population? It doesn't have it. You know, the population has to create that itself. So then the government has to force people to work. Well, people will work for themselves if it's about their livelihood. So So, get your money out of the bank, buy gold and silver, and make sure that you kill the system.